it is here out in, I guess I'll call it the real world, that assignments start taking you places and you, particularly off base, run into issues of segregation and comments of being called boy or told to go to the back door for food. And this is, I suppose in hindsight, not surprising. Probably at the time it was happening, it was at times both surprising and expected. But let me put this in context for our veteran radio listeners, Colonel Worthy. You had, and I don't have the number right, I'm going to list off some of the places, but you had, 20-some assignments over your career and moves?
That's probably true. I never kind of counted them, but that's about right. But there are many. I can give you a quick summary of that if you'd like.
Please do. I think, again, it will help people understand what military service is like and sort of how you move across the country to do it.
Well, that was the problem. West Point was no problem, but traveling was a big problem for black cadets and officers. When you went from one place, one assignment to another, you had to really plan your trip and find, do some research on where you could go to, where you could stay when you had to stay, and where you could eat and where you had to eat, and those kinds of things. You just couldn't stop at a motel because you just liked the looks of it. You had to get some advanced world warnings. So, in one case, I mentioned in the book, in a little town called Clayton, New Mexico. I went to the gas station there and had to got some gas, and asked for a place that where I could eat. And my wife and I were together. We made the mistake of leaving our New York license plates on our car. But anyway, he told us to go to this restaurant. We were thinking, well, if he said that we could go, he was looking at us. He could see that we were black. I guess it's okay. So we went to the place. And as when we got to the front of the building, you could see inside through the glass windows there, and everybody was having a great time, jolly time, and everybody enjoying their food and everything. I walked in, and the place went dead silent. I mean, it wasn't. You could hear a pin drop. Even the fellow that was cleaning the place, the black fellow that was cleaning up the place, he stopped and froze. And the person, the lady that was attending, she was just absolutely furious that I would even dare come in there to order some food. And she made some negative and racial comments about coming in the back door and all of that. So, but her boss, the manager, I assume, I guess he felt didn't want to start anything, so he said, "Go ahead and give him what he wants." So she threw the food out, made him a couple of hamburgers, and as we walked out, we could hear the chairs scrubbing the floors. So every man in the restaurant got up, and we walked out the door, and they were gathering. You could tell, and I got in a car, and I didn't know what to expect because. In a situation like that, the sheriff, if there was one, he probably would be leading the pack that's behind me there. But anyway, we got in the car and we drove off, and all of these about 10 or 12 pickup trucks were following us down the road. And of course, we didn't know what was going to happen to us, but we got close to the Colorado border, somewhere along that way, where we turned off, and then they turned around and went back. But that was the kind of experiences one of the kind of experiences we had at that time. Same was accommodations were the same way. So yes, that was not very enjoyable.
Listen to this full episode and more on the Apple Podcasts app, Blog Talk Radio, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.